Hi, I'm Tom, and this is Adult Game Reviews. For the first review of 2026, I feel like a new Eternum update is appropriate. The public release is set for the 21st of January. I played it early, and how does it stack up? Let's find out. Whenever a new Eternum update comes out, I get so many DMs of people asking me what I think. So, here are my thoughts.
Now listen to my every word if you want to live.
The 0.8 update was one of the best updates I've played of any game. It was the first true of the payoff episodes. You can see that review down below, the link is in the description. And update 0.9 wasn't that different, but unlike 0.8, there were some things I actually didn't like. So before you come at me with the torches, let's get into the stuff that I did like. So much of Eternum has been built up in character development, you learning about each character, building relationships, and seeing the consequences of your choices. It was nice this time to just enjoy your time with Dahlia, Penny, Nancy, Alex, Luna. This felt long overdue. Plus you get more Chang than we have in a while.
I gotta have more
Chang.
baby.
While there's so many good love interests, I feel like we kind of hit the apex with some of the girls' storylines. This time, it was Luna. The brief glimpse into her family, and if you like I Can Fix Her girls, well, just this alone was super satisfying.
And I fix her? Of course I can fix her!
0.8 ended on a big cliffhanger, and you finally get more depth and insight into our favorite elf. Plus there's a mini heist, and you go on job interviews. We still have the top tier writing that Charybdis is known for, and I'll say that the humor, while less frequent, when it was there, I was still kind of dying. The job interviews cracked me up, and Chang's board game is something that I kind of want to play in real life. I felt the visuals, the animations, and the music were all on point. It's the production value that's top tier for a Charybdis game, which is something that we have come to expect, and no complaints there. Early on, I felt like the music really added to the overall experience. There is a lot to like in update 0.9, but there's some things I really didn't like, which I haven't been able to say in a while for an Eternum update. And probably the biggest issue I had was the pacing. At the beginning of 0.9, things are slow. To try and break up a bit of the monotony, you have some trivia questions. But man, if you haven't done a full playthrough in a while, it's virtually impossible to get all the right answers without a guide. However, even if you do get it wrong, it doesn't matter that much. The illusion of choice there. There are also little mini games, which I actually did enjoy, but then again, I seem to be the weird one when it comes to mini games.
Yeah, you were a real weirdo.
Then, let's talk about the focus. Many previous updates you were only focusing on a few characters and the overall story. These kept these updates relatively contained without feeling like it was trying to do too much. That is not the case in 0.9. It came off like Charybdis felt the need to touch on all the characters that weren't covered in the 0.8 update, which I totally get, believe me, but that left many of those individual interactions kind of feeling thin from a depth and emotional standpoint. Many of the characters that you interact with don't quite feel like you get enough time with them. Even the Luna scenes left me wanting a little bit more. So while I did truly enjoy this update, don't get me wrong, I don't think it was as good as 0.8 from a pacing and focus standpoint. While I enjoyed the deeper dive with our elf friend, it kind of felt like we skimmed the surface with everyone else. Unfortunately, this is kind of common in the final stretch of every good VN, but it's especially true here. It's also the downside of not picking one true relationship. So unless your favorite character is the center of attention, you'll feel a little let down. I felt that way especially with Annie and Nova. For such a large update, it's kind of surprising that outside of your elf friend, it felt like everything else was a little thin. It's weird to feel like we're kind of closing in on the end of some storylines, while I also feel like we didn't quite get enough. But then again, I do actually play for the plot. I want to thank all my backers on Patreon and Subscribestar, and if you haven't seen my top 15 games of 2025, you can check it out right here. Thanks again. Until next time.